Hello everyone and welcome to another development update for Shadow Heroes Vengeance in Flames, where we get behind the scenes access to all the things we're currently working on the game. So on Friday we worked on getting a lot of the different programming bugs kind of out of the game and making some progress on some additional things. So first off, we got kind of skeleton versions of a couple of our menus in. So we got our main menu, we got our multiplayer menu, we got our campaign menu, all kind of wireframed in. So if you want to go to specific levels, then you can do that right now. But it's not completely finished yet. There's no art on it at all. It's basically just default buttons on a black box. So nothing special. It's the functionality that's in, and that's the great part, is having that functionality in. So it's slowly becoming more of what looks like a game, something kind of put together a little bit more. So we did that. We also worked on getting some of the AI bugs out of the game as well. So one of the things that was happening was you'd put an AI, one of your units, onto the screen, and it would pathfind. It would try to do some kind of A-star pathfinding from point A to point B, but it would kind of clip with the edges of the nav mesh, and it would try and run into it for about 2 seconds. And after that 2 seconds, it would go, oh wait, this is a wall. Now start moving around it. And it would do this a couple of times before it eventually found its way to a little bit more of an open field, just because of little tiny cracks and things like that inside the nav mesh themselves. But we figured out exactly how to fix that. Because of this kind of pausing period, it led us to believe that it was being caused by more of a linear pathfinding rather than a proper A-star pathfinding that was going on. So as a temporary fix, and we're going to have to change this later because it's highly inefficient, but what we did was we had it try and identify new A-star pathfinding, or any kind of pathfinding really, from where they currently are to their new location. We're doing that every single tick of the engine, which is absolutely horrible way of doing it right now, but given that we're only dealing with small groups of people and it's not going to be that big right now, it's okay. And we know that this is something that we're going to have to adjust, and it was just a matter of putting an extra function call, one line in, to see if this is going to fix the problem, and it does. So we've identified what it is that is going to need to be done, and we know that this pathfinding that it was doing before is not a proper solution, and even this one that we currently have in is not a proper solution. So we know we're going to have to adjust this, but for now it's actually working. We just have a much lower unit cap than we would like, just because that pathfinding is not going to work. So we did that, and we did one more thing. What did we do? Oh, right. The menu systems was the HUD was kind of broken. What was happening was, randomly, with one little piece of code, it would crash, and we didn't know why, because that used to work and everything about it was written correctly. We've gone over it line by line. It's like, there's no reason why this wouldn't work. We commented it out and put a different, more simplified block in. It would still crash. So we had to identify, okay, why is this crashing? Apparently it was nothing to do with that block of code that went in or out. It was something much before that, and basically what was happening was we were identifying a style for a button. So basically saying, use this picture, and it would use that picture. But we were doing that inside of the constructor. So later on, after it's created, that style that was defined in the constructor is now out of scope when it's going to go print, or not print, but draw to the screen. So that style's out of scope, and it's there for a little bit. It might be there for 1 or 2 iterations of ticks, but eventually gets garbage collected and is gone. So it's a hanging pointer, and as soon as that gets overwritten, then it crashes because it can't find that style. You're basically just picking up random numbers and letters and just kind of garbage memory address information. And that was not the way we wanted to do it, because it broke things. So we just basically corrected the scope by throwing in variables, and when it's created, it writes to the variables that are in the .h instead of being inline declared. So that fixed that problem as well. So everything kind of got worked on and developed, and a lot of the bugs that were kind of halting some of our updates and statuses were kind of solved, at least for now. The AI one will need to be improved a lot substantially, but right now there's no steering controls inside of UE4. You can't. It's very hard anyway to, with any kind of constraint to your nav mesh, to say move to the right a little bit more, move to the left a little bit more. You can do that with velocities. You can say, have your add this to your velocity, add that to your velocity, but it doesn't constrain it to the nav mesh. So there's a high chance that it will try its very best and move you further or farther away, but it could also knock you off the nav mesh because it's not constrained. So that means your AI would just stop working and eventually fall off the edges of the earth and just go nowhere. So we don't want that either. So right now, before we try and update any of our navigation, we're going to deal with smaller groups. And when some kind of steering controls are put in, so we can say go that way, then that's when we're going to be able to actually put some kind of more update and make it highly efficient in comparison, because we don't want full AI pathfinding every single tick of the engine for every single bot. That just doesn't work. No, we want lots of bots, and doing that's just a lot of CPU thread kind of taken up because of that. So that's my update for today. That's all the stuff that we worked on Friday, so it's a pretty busy day. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think and what suggestions you might have. And yeah, until next time, I'll talk to you later.